We begin tonight with the tie of the round, which took place last night. Derry City arrived at Tolka Park fresh from their 7-3 aggregate win over Gretna in the UEFA Cup qualifiers. The opposition was provided by Shelbourne for a cup tie both sides have become used to in recent years.
And so, for the third year in a row, it was Shelbourne versus Derry in the FAI Cup, with Stephen Kenny's High Flyers seeking to make it 3 in a row against Sunday evening's hosts. It's been quite a season so far for a Derry outfit battling on 4 fronts, so you could have forgiven them for not knowing which end was up ahead of kick-off. And with PSG coach Guy Lacombe watching on, they started well. Just 5 minutes on the clock when Joseph Endo's charge forward was abruptly ended by Barry Malloy. A wonderful ball out of defence by Kevin Deary picked out Kevin McHugh. He spied Stephen O'Flynn, but the striker couldn't force his header on target. 3 minutes later, Shelbourne had their first meaningful attack of the game, all stemming from a Derry free kick. Sean Hargan did well to dispossess Bobby Ryan, but in trying to pick out a colleague, succeeded only in finding Glenn Crowe. He swiftly transferred the ball on to strike partner Gary O'Neill, but like O'Flynn before him, O'Neill failed to produce an effort on target. With 10 minutes of a lively opening period played, Shelbourne again hit with pace. This time Crowe picking out Ollie Cahill. He was to leave both Eddie McCallion and the backtracking Deary in his wake, but the winger, in tremendous form of late, didn't get sufficient height on the chip that followed. Deary was soon showing to good effect, however, in the opposite direction. His dead ball deliveries have been a constant threat this season, and from this one, Darren Kelly rose unchallenged to power past Dean Delaney, and the visitors were ahead with less than 20 minutes played. In an intriguing first half, Glenn Crowe came close to getting Shelbourne back on terms when he rose bravely to meet an Endo free kick, but under real pressure his header fractionally cleared the crossbar. Indeed, Pat Fenlon's side were also to have the last real chance of the half late on. Endo's corner fell to Sean Dillon, who teed up Bobby Ryan, but the winger's drive whistled narrowly wide of David Ford's right-hand post. After finishing that half strongly, Shelbourne began the second in a similar vein. Quick thinking from Endo at the free kick saw him look to play Crowe in, but Kelly produced a fine last-ditch tackle. There was always going to be precious little between the sides, as previous meetings this season would testify, and soon after it was Derry's turn to create an opening. It all stemmed from Stephen O'Flynn's run at the heart of the Shelbourne defence. His shot was blocked but fell to Gary Beckett, who bided his time on the edge of the box before setting up Kieran Martin. Delaney grateful that the midfielder's stinging effort was in close proximity. Martin and his midfield partner Barry Malloy have been key figures for Derry this campaign, and with 53 minutes on the clock, the latter set off in a meandering run before picking out Kevin McHugh. He found the net but was denied by an offside flag. On second viewing, the striker had timed his run to perfection. Derry with every right to feel aggrieved. At this point, Pat Fenlon had withdrawn Gary O'Neill and pushed Endo into a more advanced role, and just after the hour he almost caught Ford out from Crowe's flick on. Shelbourne, and Endo in particular, were now throwing everything at their visitors, but each attack was repelled by a vigilant Derry rearguard, superbly marshalled by Kelly and Oman. Derry, though, were always a threat, and after a wonderful piece of skill from Deary on the touchline, ended with McHugh fashioning a cross. Mark Farron's looping header hit the woodwork. Fellow sub Sean Holmes couldn't take advantage of the rebound. With 4 minutes remaining, Farron had another great chance to ease any late nerves, but after latching onto Holmes' flick on, his effort carried over the bar. Shelbourne almost salvaged a replay 2 minutes later, but when Endo's free caused confusion in the box, Ford produced a stunning save to deny Crowe from close range. The final whistle sounded soon after, condemning Shelbourne to a third successive FAI Cup exit at the hands of their visitors. Semi-finals of the League Cup, top of the league, now in the quarter-finals of the FAI Cup, and of course into the first round proper of the UEFA Cup. Derry City fans singing all the way home.
You know, the players are relieved. They know it was a real tough game. We came out of the blocks really well, played well. You know, in the first 20 minutes I thought we created a few chances and deservedly went ahead. Shelbourne came at us at the team that they are. You know, they're always going to come at you here in Tolka Park, and but we held on and created a few chances on the counter-attack ourselves. And it's another great win for us, particularly after the European win on Thursday night to win 7-3 on aggregate in Europe was definitely brilliant, like more than we could have hoped. And to come here tonight against Shelbourne and win, was a great win for us. I think we're going to have great battles with the top teams now between now and the end of the season, and this was one of them, and there's plenty more to follow.
If you look at the games over the period of the season, they've been very tight. 1-0 has been enough in 2 games and a draw in the other. So first goal is always crucial when you're playing probably the closest teams to you. It
is a serious programme, all right, the amount of games we have to play, but we're not complaining. We'd rather be in these competitions than out of them, and we have to just look at every match and try and win it. I don't think we can be selective and say, well, we're not going to win that, don't try and win that match. I think we've got to be single-minded and try and win every game that we can, and see where it takes us.
Well, Paul, Derry go marching on, smashing cup tie. Do you think Derry deserved the victory?
I think they did, Trevor. They're top side. If anyone had any doubts at all about them, they've answered everybody now. They had a goal disallowed for offside, which I think we'll see, was clearly onside. Shelbourne had a chance as well, but I think Derry just about deserved it.
Well, Derry went in front after 19 minutes or so, and what did you make of the goal?
It was a mixed bag, really. There were a few things in it. A wonderful ball in by Derry, who's having a tremendous season. It's great pace in the ball. The marking's non-existent, in the 6-yard box, non-existent. I don't know whether the defenders thought the keeper was going to come, but whatever happened, there was a mix-up, because Darren Kelly's on the 6-yard line, heading the ball into the net. You can see Hawkins, Owen Heary, there's confusion there over something or other, but it was a poor goal for them to give away. And this is the one where where I think it must have been the linesman gave it for the offside, but he was never offside, and we'll see it now again.
Yeah, took it well, Kevin McHugh.
Took it brilliantly. Malloy, another player there, you can see there in the bottom of the top of the picture there, he's clearly onside. He's probably even been played onside by Hawkins, who we can't see in the picture there. Brilliant run by McHugh, brilliant finish, and really it should have been 2-1.
They looked to tread all night, Derry City.
A good side, as I said already, and they really played exceptionally well on the night.
Shelbourne had a late chance to force them to a replay.
Yeah, I think it would have been a bit unjust on Derry had they've conceded a late equaliser. But again, Ford, who's another player, you can go through the whole Derry side. They're all having great seasons. Crowd as well. It's a great save by Ford, and it comes back out to Dillon, and he hits the post. And they fully deserved it. They're on some run, and interesting listening to Stephen talking in his post-match interview about just taking every game as it comes and trying to win every game. That's what they'll do. They've built it on a great team spirit as well. Fellas like Darren Kelly, they're local lads. They just have that belief now that they're never going to be beaten, and it's a great thing to have in a side. Yeah.
Stephen Kenny has done a tremendous job since he's taken over it. Jerry, how have you been impressed with Derry City, Paddy?
I think they're a smashing team. Their squad is getting stronger, and I like Stephen's philosophy as well, that he's taking each game as it comes. He's not looking to 3 or 4 games down the line, and he knows now that he's got a very good squad to go and beat Gretna the way that they did, and to come down then and beat Shels in Talca Park on their home patch. The most I was hoping for Derry was a draw last night, but they confounded everybody by having a smashing win. They're a very compact team. They've got some wonderful players, and consider that McCourt is on the sideline at the moment injured. Young Farron has been in and out through injury for most of the season, and Derry, as Paul was alluding to there,
he's a tremendous player. He's come on leaps and bounds in this season in particular. He's come on leaps and bounds. I think that's one of the Stephen Kenny's pluses. He can get the best out of players, and he's got the best out of that bunch of players, and he's a credit to the club.
Yeah, there's always going to be very little in it, Paul. You did say in the programme last week you had a slight fancy for Shelbourne, but Derry certainly proving a very hard side to beat, as you saw again.
I just thought with the home advantage that Shelbourne might just nick it, but I spoke about Derry a lot last season, and I haven't said too much about them this season, but you have to start taking notice of them now. If anybody's not, they're silly, because they're a good side.
Okay, Paul.